Hey everyone, DarkDragoon here with episode 5 of my FTB Modpack Let's Play. I want to welcome everyone back. Today we've been doing a lot with railcraft and industrial craft, so today I want to do something a little different than what we've been doing, sort of shift gears, mostly because I want to be able to set up for some buildcraft power, but to do that it's going to take some work, and if you're familiar with mods, you might be able to maybe guess, based on what we're looking at, what we're doing. If not, well, that's okay. You just have to stay tuned and see what I'm doing. So, first things first, it's getting close to night, but we've got a couple things we can build indoors before we sleep. So why don't we go ahead and do that right now. So, the first thing I need to do is I want to start playing around with some forestry stuff. And to do that, there are a couple machines that I need to build before I can even start doing anything else. And that is the carpenter. So we'll build one of those first. I'll show you guys the recipe. It's pretty simple. It requires some bronze, more bronze, and some glass. That part's not the hard part. But the other thing this carpenter is going to need is some kind of water. And to get that, we're going to basically have to make ourselves a pump to basically pump water into it. So that is why you can see I've got all this iron and stuff here in my inventory, but I'll show you the recipes here. First you need a mining well, not too bad, just a good deal of iron. I'll show you that here in a second. And then a tank, which is just glass. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're going to need a couple more sticks because we need one other thing we need cobble. So yeah, there we go. Make ourselves wooden gear, upgrade that to a stone gear, and then upgrade that to an iron gear. So now we should have everything we need for this mining well. We do. So iron on the sides, some redstone, our iron gear, and an iron pickaxe that we had laying around from earlier. So that'll give us a mining well. Then we can go ahead and make ourselves our tank. And we combine that on top of the mining well to get a pump. Now, the other thing we're going to need are a good mess of redstone engines. I'm thinking 4. So we're going to need 4 pistons for that. Okay. And then we're going to need more sticks. We're going to need 8 total wooden gears. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that we should be good to go. So, okay, 4 redstone engines. We're also going to need 2 redstone torches for that. So, now here's the trick. Trying to figure out exactly where we're going to want this carpenter, which we might as well go ahead and make. How much bronze do we have? Got a decent amount, but we're going to need a little more. So, why don't we just go ahead and make, let's go with that. And then we can go ahead and make our sturdy casing, which is just 8 bronze, like that. And let's take a look here. There we go. So we're going to need 6 bronze, a sturdy casing, and some glass. So we should have that. Right there. Alright, so there's our carpenter. Like I said, this thing is going to need this thing is going to need the pump. So why don't we sleep through the night? That way we can move around freely and be able to sort of see what we want to do with this. Alright, so I'm trying to decide if we want to go ahead and set this up inside the factory or what. Let's take a look around our house here. I'm thinking maybe set it up on this side over here. Maybe move these Yeah, maybe we can move these, set the pump up just outside. I like that idea. Let's do that. So, we're gonna have to move all this stuff, but we can just move the iron furnaces. It's not too big a deal. Go ahead and go ahead and put them right there. Why not? Basically replacing our furnace there. We can move this chest here in a little bit. Right now, let's go ahead and throw the carpenter down. Thinking maybe right here. Alright, so you can see the carpenter's interface looks a little complicated, but it's actually not too bad. Basically up here is where you set up. The carpenter can do quite a few things. Obviously right now I want just more of a general carpenter for my general use, so I can change out this recipe, but you can definitely set up recipes ahead of time up here for different carpenters to do different things for you automatically. Basically, so this is where you put your recipe. This is where your obviously your resulting item will be, and this will fill up with a little bar. This requires buildcraft energy as well, just like the rolling machine. And this will basically show you how long till it's done, and then when it's finished it'll pop over here. Down here is basically a inventory for the materials that you have up here. And then this is your liquid storage. This is where the water is going to store. Carpenters can also be filled with a bunch of other liquids like honey and creosote and a bunch of other stuff. But we're just going to have water pumping into this one because this carpenter at the moment, well, the whole reason why we're going to need it is because when we start looking at some of the things we want to make, we're going to need the carpenter to do that. We're also going to need another little machine called the thermionic fabricator, which, as you can see, is another sturdy casing, some gold, and a chest. So we're going to go ahead and make that as well. I know I have some gold sitting somewhere. Yes. Good deal of gold. I got that macerated up. So, yeah. We're going to need a little more bronze. No. Tin, please. Go ahead and make that a sturdy casing. And if I recall, the thermionic fabricator was something like, no? Oh, a chest. Let's see here. Okay. That should do it for gold. Thermionic fabricator. Again, this is another item that will need some buildcraft power, but it works by putting some glass up here. The buildcraft power will heat up the glass, will turn into liquid glass, and then we're going to put recipes in here to create little electron tubes. So those are going to be used for some of our forestry machines that we're going to be working on. So those two things set up. Let's see, did we have any spare? We did have a little bit of spare golden waterproof piping. I don't think that's going to be enough. So no, it's definitely not going to be enough. So why don't I go ahead and get the pump set up, and then once that's done, I'm going to have to go farm up some more cactus. So let's see here. We got some buckets. We're going to need those. Might as well go ahead and fill this bucket up. I'm going to have to make a couple trips because I only have 2 buckets at the moment. I could make another one, but I probably will make another one, but not until after we're done with this. So let's go ahead and figure out exactly where our should be right here. Let's take a look. Okay, so we're gonna have pipes basically just coming out here. Trying to figure out exactly how we want to set up this thing. I'm thinking probably gonna need at least one more pipe. This is what we're looking at. I think I might pretty this up here once we sort of have the. Actually, I probably need to go ahead and do that now if I want to do it. Yeah. So let's grab some. We don't have any smooth stone on us, but I do know we have some over here. What the hey? We'll use you. Okay, so I'm pretty much just gonna make a basin here, because this is where we're gonna keep our. We're basically making like a little well, for all intents and purposes. So basically gonna have to do this. Okay. Obviously you don't have to do this much work, you can just make a dirt hole in the ground, but I think having a little well set up sounds kind of cool. And again, I'm trying to go for a little bit of a mix of both form and function, so this makes it more interesting. I can fill those in with blocks later, the corners that is. Right now I just sort of want to get the outline of what we're doing here. I just have to do this now before water goes in. So yeah. Okay. As it stands, we're going to have some problems getting out of here, but that's okay. Now, while we're at it, if we're going to... We have the materials, right? Might as well use them. Okay, so... I'm going to have to dig my way out of here real quick. And I'll replace that stuff in a second, but I want to start getting the water put down in the bottom of our little well. Let's go grab another bucket full. Ow. Okay. Now, setting it up this way, we're basically setting up an infinite water pool. Because our... Okay, so that should work. So we got ourselves set up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop that there just temporarily because we need to put the pump here. Pop that off. Put down our redstone engines attached to that. Like I said, we're going to need another bit of waterproof pipe, but that's okay. And then we can just put our redstone torches there, and once we get this other waterproof pipe, that'll be good to go. So why don't I go ahead and close that up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip the video here real quick while I go get myself some more cactus, and then I'll clean this up, and hopefully by then you guys can see the water pumping into the carpenter. So I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, and you can see I took some time to sort of pretty this up a little bit, and grass will eventually grow on these dirt blocks, but the more important part is the fact I got myself another pipe, and now you can see water is flowing. Now this shouldn't, this water shouldn't dry up, but fortunately this isn't like a combustion engine. We're not going to have any chance of the carpenter blowing up on us if it runs out of water. It'll just stop working. So, like I said, it shouldn't be a problem, but just in case. Now we can see there is water in the carpenter. Now, the next thing I need to do, and I'm going to do this off camera, but I need to make a more buildcraft power. Obviously, again, buildcraft power is our big sticking point at the moment. So why don't I do that off screen? I'm just going to make a couple more Stirling engines and attach those to what we've got here. I'll be right back. Alright, I got myself my Stirling engines made, but I ran into a little bit of a problem, and you'll see it here in a second. But I'm actually going to go ahead and fix that problem before it's a problem, because I'm going to need to make something called a wrench. Now this is different than the wrench we made for this wrench. This is very different from the industrial craft wrench. This is your buildcraft wrench. This basically lets you adjust various things in buildcraft, and you're about to see why. Okay, so I put the two Stirling engines down. This one didn't attach to the thermionic fabricator. It attached over here to this engine. That's a problem. mostly because it's going to deliver power to this engine, of course, which will deliver it to the carpenter. So the carpenter's getting twice the energy, but we don't want that. We want the energy to go into the thermionic fabricator. So we're just going to give it a whack, and it'll readjust itself. Cool. So let's go ahead and toss that tool in there. So now that we've got our Stirling engines, it should run off of coal coke, and we should have a decent amount of that building up over here. So why don't we go ahead and grab that. The nice thing about the coal coke is it lasts a good while. Probably don't want to put that much of it in there. Just 4 should do. I also think I want to make a couple levers. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. Just need a couple sticks. There we go. And we'll just put one there and put one there. Okay, now things are working. Now you'll see the glass is going to heat up in here after a few minutes. But so the whole purpose for this, you guys might be scratching your head is wondering, okay, why did he just go to all this trouble to make these two machines? What's he doing? Okay, well, I'll actually show you. So for right now, obviously this will change as I progress forward, but right now I'm thinking that maybe peat-fired engines might be the best way to get myself a decent amount of buildcraft power. But obviously a peat-fired engine is going to run off of peat. To get peat, we need to make ourselves a peat bog, and another machine called a turbery. Basically the peat bog will grow the peat, and the turbery will harvest it for us. And you can see that there are quite a few weird pieces we need. The small circuit board was one of the things we needed to do in a carpenter. That's why we put the carpenter in there. It's not too difficult to make, but again, we needed the carpenter. And the electron tubes are made in the thermionic fabricator. So you can see there is a method to my madness. But that is interesting. I did not know that you could melt glass panes in there. News to me. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a small circuit board. So we're going to need a bit of tin, which I believe we have on us, and redstone. Not too bad. And you want to left click these in there, as you'll notice that it doesn't actually use up your materials. So once you put the recipe in, you put your materials down here and it will produce your circuit board. I think we're going to need 2 of those total because we need one for the peat bog itself, and I believe we're going to need one for the turbery. Yes. So once we've got 2 of these, we can switch off the engine that's on the carpenter here. So we're not using up anymore. There we go. Pull you out. These do not stack, unfortunately. And then we can go ahead and pull that stuff out of there. Now, we're going to need a couple things. We need tin electron tubes, 3 of them for the turbery, and we need copper electron tubes. I think it was copper. Let's double check. Peat bog. Yes, copper. So those are made pretty much like so. And it should start working. I'm not sure why. Let's take a look here. Not sure what's going on. Why this isn't heating up. It might very well be that the thermionic fabricator needs more power than this to heat up. Let me figure out why this isn't working and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I did a little bit of testing and just sort of playing around with stuff, and I think I have a solution. Pretty much the conclusion I've come to is that this Stirling engine just does not put out enough these Minecraft joules per tick to heat up the glass that's in here. So to fix that, we're going to go over here to thermal expansion to try to help us out. Now again, this still isn't going to be ideal for what we want to do, but I'm pretty sure it is going to work. So we'll just have to use it for now and then do something different later. It looks really complicated, but really it's pretty much like the Stirling engine we made, except uses copper instead of stone, and a redstone transmission coil instead of a piece of glass isn't too bad. I know we haven't cooked up any of the silver yet, but we do have a ton of it, so I'm not really worried about that. We're just gonna pop in here, grab us a thing of silver, toss it into the macerator, and let that go real quick. It's not too big a deal. Do we have the redstone on us? We do not, but now we do. So yeah. Alright, just give me a second. I'll be back as soon as I've got myself a completed silver bar. Okay, let's get this thing made. Yeah. So just like that, we're going to need to grab our copper. I have a decent amount of it, so it's not too big a deal. We're also going to need, I want to say that's going to be enough, because we're going to need 4 total. We'll take those and surround those with copper. Actually, they might need to be stone first. Okay. Now, that should work. Yes. Copper gears. Alright, let's take a look. Looks like we have everything except for our... we actually didn't need... You know what? I have an idea. And I'm not sure if it'll work. I'm not sure if you can pump water into the steam engines like you can with the carpenter, but we're going to find out. But first we're going to go ahead and need to just make these. So we need, where's our iron? 2 pistons, again, lots of pistons needed. We don't appear to have any cobble. I could have sworn we had some on us, but apparently not. There we go. So we'll just get these made. Alright, just like that. Now we're going to need to actually use all our silver. Because we're going to go ahead and make 2 of these, because I figure it won't hurt to have a couple of these. Alright, so after going through all of that, the ultimate goal is basically so we can stick it there. And we're going to need a couple buckets of water just to get those started. And I think once I get a chance, I'll make a couple more waterproof pipes and see if I can't just pump the water directly in from the well out here, same way we're pumping it into the carpenter. So these are pretty simple. You put your bucket in, it'll fill up the water on the side, and then you can put coal in. And those will run pretty much on their own. Now I'm honestly not sure if coal coke will burn in these. Okay, coal coke will not burn in these. So keep that in mind. So now these are running, and you can definitely set these to have different sorts of redstone requirement. Obviously this one now needs redstone to turn on. And yeah, so give this a minute and this will start heating up. So I'm going to be right back once this actually starts going somewhere. It's going to take a little while. Alright, we are back, and you can see here finally it's heated up to the proper level that we needed to melt the glass, and we have liquid glass now. So the liquid glass combines with our recipe here to give us the electron tubes we're after. So we also needed, I believe, was it tin? I think it was tin for the turbary. Yeah. Same recipe, that's why I left the redstone in there, except for with tin instead of copper. Boom. Done. There are also, I want to say there are iron, and there's also gold and diamond. So, yeah. So now that we have everything we need, obviously the machine doesn't need any more power. So it's going to shut off our steam engine automatically. Kind of a cool feature of it. We're going to shut it off, and we're going to let that go. So now that we have what we need, we're going to need a bit more bronze so that we can get a couple of these casings done. We're going to need a good amount of it. Where'd our tin go? Did we leave it? We left it in there. Okay. Get ourselves 2 of these sturdy machines. Whoop. So I'm going to throw it to the ground again. Alright. So yeah, let's see if we can't get these things made. So first of all, the peat bog needs our copper electron tubes, some glass. I don't think we're going to have enough glass, but I think we have some sand sitting over here. Go ahead and just cook up about half of it. That should do us for now. I'm going to wait until 1 is done because I think I just need 8 total for what we're trying to build here. Okay. So, like I said, peat bog first. We'll grab our tubes, our sturdy casing, our small circuit board, 4 pieces of glass, and we get a peat bog. And while we're at it, we'll make our turbary. That needs the tin tubes, pretty much the same exact recipe except with the tin tubes instead of the copper. And our turbary. So, now there's going to be a lot more that's going to have to go into this thing, particularly when we want to automate it a little bit. Right now I pretty much just want to get the thing ready to go. So unless I'm mistaken, this outline should be 17 by 17, which is good because I believe the farm itself is a 15 by 15 area. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be the center of our farm here. We can count it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the other side should be 7. Yep. Alright, so you might be wondering how this thing works. Well, first of all, it's going to require bog earth, which is made thusly. Where are you, bog earth? There you are. You can make it a couple different ways. For example, you can make it just in a crafting table with sand, dirt, and some kind of water source. Or you can make it in the carpenter with sand, dirt, and mulch, which mulch you get from squeezing things, pretty much. I think what we're going to end up doing is probably setting up something with water to get ourselves the bog earth that we need, but I think for now what I'll do is go ahead and just craft up a bit of this bog earth so you guys can see it, and then that's probably where we'll have to call this episode, but we'll have to take a look here. So we got ourselves a thing of water. We have plenty of dirt right now. We've got tons of it sitting in a chest in here, but sand is pretty much coming up short, so I might have to go into the desert world and get us some more, but that's okay. For now, I just want to show you how to craft it real quick. We're going to put our bucket of water in the middle, sand along the outside there, and then dirt, and we get bog earth. We only get 8 for a bucket of water, but if we were using water cells, we can get 8. So let me sleep through the night real fast. We're gonna see if we can't maybe get the peat bog to start planting down bog earth before we leave it off. It's quite a bit further away from my factory than I kind of wanted it to be. Oh, we got a creeper trying to mess up our day. Ah, crud. Alright, well that's a pain in the you know what. Let me clip the video and get myself a new peat bog. Alright, I'm back. I got myself a new peat bog going, but so we just put our bog earth in there, and I went ahead and threw down one of our Stirling engines we made earlier just to demonstrate. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a spare lever. Actually, we might as well get ourselves two, because we're going to need them anyway. Just get this thing going and give it a minute, and that should start putting our bog earth down. I'm going to go ahead and put the turbary down as well. We're not going to run it yet, but hopefully in just a little bit this will start putting our bog earth down. Yep, there it goes. You can see it. It's obviously pretty slow with the Stirling engine, but what it's going to do is, as we get more bog earth, we're going to put it in there and it's going to fill up this entire area up to a couple squares out from where our actual farm is set up. So yeah, obviously we don't have any more bog earth, so it's not going to run anymore. So yeah, we made pretty good progress on that. What I'm going to probably end up doing next episode is continuing to work on this. Hopefully get a little more sand and be able to maybe provide a little bit of automation to this system. It's not going to be super automated, but you know, we should be able to set up a system that'll automatically take out our automatically make some peat, some of this bog earth for us, and pump it into the bog so that it can do stuff, and then hopefully we can get the turbary set up once the farm's placed to automatically pump our peat that it pulls out into a chest for us. Because like I said, I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up a Buildcraft powered generator using these peat fired engines, and so hopefully that'll give us a good amount of industrial craft power to start doing some other cool stuff. So until then, this is where we're going to have to call this. This is episode 5 of DarkDragoon's Feed the Beast Mod Pack Let's Play. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll catch you later.